56 hours into our fast this week. That's right. That's where we are, 56 hours. And we are improving our health by taking charge, and we are fasting. We're using fasting as that amazing tool. Hey, if you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life. Avoid complications. We're going to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. I am here because I want you to have the success that you're having in your rest of your life right here in your health. You don't need superhuman strength. You don't need more motivation. What you need is a strategy you can trust. You need a plan you can follow, and you need the support and determination to show up every single time. And here we are right now, 56 hours. If you're new, go ahead and put new in the comments, because I love to welcome you with a hand clap and some music. And let you know that I am excited that you're here. Whatever platform you're joining us from, make sure that you drop that in the comments so that we will know, because we want to give a shout out, a special shout out to our accelerator members who are out there. Thank you for coming through, and thank you for hanging out with us. If you've got questions, go ahead and drop those in the comments, and make sure you put a Q in front of it so that we will get to those as we move throughout the show tonight. This is the adaptation zone. The adaptation zone. It's the power, right, that gives this fasting process the support and the stick-to-itiveness that we need to keep going, right? So this zone is powered by our theme, right? Why progress fails when life gets easy. That's what we've been talking about over the course of this week. And before we go any further, let me go ahead and let's do a little check. We'll take a look at my numbers. I've got my monitors here. I've got my clarity report. Let's go. Check in. Whenever I do a check in, I talk about three different things: how I'm feeling physically, how I'm feeling mentally, and how I'm feeling emotionally. That's right. So when we talk about physical, people typically talk about how they're doing in terms of energy, feeling like they are either elated, they are fired up, they are all those words. Sometimes they talk about feeling like they are walking through or moving through quicksand or walking through mud. I am right now feeling pretty energetic. I'm feeling not any of those symptoms, no lightheadedness, no dizziness, no sweatiness. Been doing a good job of resting, and you'll hear more about that when you come back tomorrow, how rest and the things that we do to prepare for the fast can impact the fast itself. And then mentally feeling sharp, not feeling dull, or as though I'm walking in a as though I'm walking through a bubble, or feeling fuzzy-headed, and emotionally pretty elated because this has been an amazing week. Wonderful things happening on the channel, wonderful things happening in my life personally, in our practice, in our community. As in fact, earlier tonight, we had our monthly community meetup, and that was an amazing conversation as we supported each other and we learned what we needed to do to continue to be successful. Okay, so that was a great process there, and those are the things that we deal with as we move through this fasting space. If you've not been in our community, you want to make sure that you jump in and that you become a part of this community so that you can get the support that you need. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to hop over and we're going to take a look at my blood sugars. And first, I want to look at these as they are showing up. And let me pull this up here really quickly. What you're going to take a look at here, the first thing is going to be my Freestyle Libre report. And let's go ahead and pull that over. And here's my Freestyle Libre report. You see this says that my blood sugar right now is 75, right about here. So 75, and then down below, you'll see that's what my blood sugars have been ranging over the course of the last 12 hours. Looking at the reports, let's go here. Looking at my time in range, and we're looking at this number, so 98% in range. If I go to the 90-day, you'll see 88% with 12% being low And those 12%, that's typically, the 12% is typically what happens when I'm fasting. Okay, that's what usually happens when I'm fasting. So that's amazing right there. And so then going over to my average glucose, and we're looking at this number right up in here. And you see my average for the last 7 days has been 100. If I go to 90 days, you see 91. And then I can break those down according to different times of the day and see what's been happening. And you'll see there it ranges anywhere from 87 to 97 in terms of the range. And the reason I go to the 90-day is because the 90-day is where we are looking to see what my A1C is. And remember, the A1C is a cumulative, basically summary of the last 90 days of blood sugar. And then if I change over to, let's see, that's not the one that I wanted. So let me go over here really quickly first. And we are looking at, let's see, where are we? Looking at my Dexcom is what I'm looking for. Oh, okay, here it is. So my Dexcom, and so my Dexcom right now says that my blood sugar is 82. So let's come back here, and you see that's going to end here soon. We're going to say remind us later. And so 82 is what my blood sugar is. And then down below, that's my graph over the last 12 hours. Let's go ahead and let's look at the actual report. And this is a summary report. And it tells me for the last, this one is 14 days. So let's hop over to 90 days. So for the last 90 days, my average blood sugar has been 114 with my glucose management indicator of 6.0, which is an indication of what my A1C should approximate. Okay, so if I were to get an A1C, that's what I would expect it to be. And just a few days ago, you heard me mention that I did get my labs done. And so as we get further into here in a little while, we will be talking about what my blood sugars are, and we'll be able to compare what those are compared to what these monitors are saying they should be. Okay, so that's going to be a great show for us to go through. And I go through and I walk through each of those labs, why they're important, what they should look like, and what you should be talking to your doctor, what you should be talking to your healthcare provider about. Okay, all right, and then let's go ahead and we're going to hop over now and take a look at my monitors. And so over here, I've got my Keto Mojo. And then here is my Contour, and I need to get a couple of things out of my container here. So I need a brown strip for blood sugar for the Keto Mojo and a blue for that's ketones. I need strips for the Contour, and then I need some lancets, and we'll grab those. Get this back, and let's go ahead and get a strip out of here, get that into that monitor, and then start opening these. So we're going to start with the brown, so that's our blood sugar. I get that open, but I'm also going to go ahead and open up the ketone because that's the one that always gives me some trouble. Let's get that open here. All right, and I'm just going to have this off to the side while we do the blood sugar. All right, and as you know, I don't use a lancing device. I just have my lancet. So go ahead and open that up. Get a finger and get a poke there, and that one should give us a good, yeah, there's a brisk drop. Get that started. Get the Contour started, and then I'm going to go ahead and keep this milking because I need another drop when we do the ketones. So right now you'll see that it says that my blood sugar according to the Keto Mojo is 77. The blood sugar according to the Contour is 76. Right there, and let me pull this down, you'll see blood sugar is 82. So not that far off, right, between these three. And then let me do this, and we'll bring up my Freestyle Libre, And let's see what that one says that we are right now. And so right now, the odd man out is really the Libre because it says I'm 69. Okay? And then, getting this out, we're going to start the ketones. Let's get that in there. Move this off the screen. And I want to do this before this drop dries. There we go. All right, so we'll see what that is here in just a minute. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and 0.9. 0.9 is what the ketones are. And let me go ahead. I'm going to come over here for a second, and let's go ahead. I want to open up my Keto Mojo app so that we can talk a little bit about ketones. But when we talk about ketones that are less than 0.5 are considered normal. 0.5 to 1.5 are considered nutritional ketosis, and then above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. And so right now I am above 1.5. So let's go ahead. I'm going to open up the Keto Mojo app and try to sync that so we can get that number over so we can talk here for a minute. As we go through fasting, one of the things that I always want you to do is you want to make sure that you're getting some objective monitoring, okay? And so we're looking, and let's go ahead with this view. And so we're looking at these numbers right here. See that big number? So that's my glucose ketone index, and it's a ratio of glucose, which is in the brown, and ketones, which is in the blue. So the ratio of that gives me what you're looking at right here. So I want my ketones to be as high as possible. I want my glucose to be low normal, and I want my GKI to be low as possible as well. Okay, so that tells me that my body is not using a lot of sugar, right? We've transitioned from carbs, and I'm making ketones, which is what we really want. All right, so let's go ahead, and so that's what's going on in terms of my numbers, but let's hop into our conversation for this evening. And just a point, when you come back tomorrow, we will do the complete review of fasting. You want to make sure that you're here for that, and you get to see what I eat for the first time after 72 hours. But right now, let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at our Move campaign. As you know, we here have put together this platform because we want to be available so when you come, you get to plug in to all the things that are needed to help with your metabolism. Our health action plan is a great place for that, and those are the pillars. One of them is what we're going to be looking at right now. This is the combination of our Move, and let's go ahead and let's take a look. Welcome to Move, metabolic optimization via exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is Move. Let's get started. All right, so we are talking about the adaptation zone. So we are 56 hours into this week's fast, and this is an amazing space to be in, right? Because we're also talking about what happens when life begins getting easier as we're moving through the fasting space. And if you are fasting, if you've been hanging around, if you've been doing a 24-hour, 36-hour, 48-hour, 1 meal a day, or if you've been doing an extended fast, then this is the space for you, right? This is the space for you so that we can talk about what's going on in the body as we are moving through our fast. And so we're talking about this transition, if you will. So we've had motivation, and the motivation has turned its hands over to, or turned the wheels over to our metabolism. And the metabolism has done its job, and now we're turning into what's happening in the body as the body is turning over or taking over. At 56 hours, your body is no longer negotiating, right? Is no longer negotiating. The body is now adapting. This hour is not about pushing harder. It's about learning how to stay steady when things finally start to feel quieter. And that's an amazing space to be in, right? So what is the adaptation zone? What is this space that we find ourselves in, and what is going on in the body? Well, the adaptation zone is the body finding rhythm, right? The body's finding rhythm. It is the window where your nervous system, your metabolism, and your hormones begin to operate with less resistance. This is different from the 33 hour. At 33 hours, the body is still transitioning. At 56 hours, the body is cooperating. All the systems have now gotten into a mode of, hey, we're working together. You're no longer proving anything. You're learning how to maintain stability with micro adjustments, right? So you're not micromanaging. You're not on constant vigilance. Okay, is something going to go wrong? Am I going to be able to get through the fast? Am I going to be right? So we're not doing that anymore. What we're doing is we are now adjusting, and we're working on how do we stay stable. So there are some quiet markers of stability that we want to talk about. These are important because the calm that we feel is actually information. Sometimes when we feel that calm, we think that something is going wrong, and nothing is going wrong. The body is still just doing what it needs to do. This is what stability looks like. So at 56 hours, progress, it rarely looks dramatic because we've had the intensity of motivation. We've felt the fluctuations in our body as the body changes from one energy source to another. So instead, this is actually pretty quiet. This is a space where if you're not careful, you will mistake the quiet, you mistake the calm as though something is wrong. Say, well, I don't feel as pumped up anymore. But here are three markers. Number one, hunger is less emotional. It may still show up, but it's cleaner. There's less urgency with it. There's less panic because the hormones and the systems have come together and they are helping to quiet. The ketones are up. Those ketones will help to quiet the mind. So number one, hunger is less. I often say to people, I get excited when I get into a fast or when I'm approaching a fast because the food noise goes away, right? The food noise goes away. Number two, energy is smoother. We're not getting those highs, those peaks and valleys anymore because we've moved from burning one source of energy into burning a different source. So there are fewer spikes, fewer crashes. We don't feel as though we've got to go grab the energy drink. And then number three, the mood is more neutral. There's less irritation. There's less reactivity. There's more, I'm okay right now. And we're able to make it through some of the fluctuations that we felt earlier because guess what? They're quieter now. These are not signs of stagnation. They are actually signs of adaptation. In fact, earlier today, we were talking to, in our community meetup, and we were saying that it is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that your body is actually doing what it should do. And if you understand what goes on in this space, when you feel it, then you're less likely to overreact because you understand what's happening. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about the physiology that's going on right here. The physiology. So efficiency over effort. So the body is saying, I don't want to keep pushing. I don't want to keep grinding. I don't want to keep white knuckling it. Let's become more efficient. So very briefly, so insulin levels are low and they're stable. Fat oxidation is reliable. Ketones are available and they're consistent. Cortisol is no longer shouting. The system is conserving energy by becoming more efficient. So we don't have to send out cortisol now to survey. We don't have to have the urgency of the conversion of carbohydrates from the liver into sugar. There is a constant source of energy, right? That's the breakdown of fat, which we all have. And because we are using the fat for energy, because we're not having those spikes in blood sugar, our insulin level does not have to continually fluctuate. Remember, insulin itself causes lots of downstream issues. And this is basically kind of a symphony of hormones, if you will. They're all now kind of working together and saying, hey, we understand what's happening. So by becoming more efficient, the system is conserving the energy. And efficiency feels quiet. Yeah. And that is where, we sometimes say, maybe something I don't feel the energy. But nothing's wrong. It is actually the body working the way it is designed to do. So what does it feel like when there's noise? So noise is usually structure, not failure, right? Why some people feel noisy is what we're going to talk about. So when someone feels restless, when they feel anxious, when they feel unsettled here, it's rarely because fasting isn't working. But once again, if we don't understand, we begin to think that something is wrong. It's usually because structure is missing. What are some common causes? Number one, irregular sleep. If we're going to fast, we will have changes in energy as the body goes from one energy source to another. And if you are not well rested, then you begin feeling that. You'll feel that dip as though there's something wrong. That drop in energy. Sometimes we'll talk about, I feel as though I'm walking through mud, or I feel like I hit that wall. Well, irregular sleeping will cause that. Number two, excess stimulation. One of the things we talk about when we do our fasting, how to prepare for fast, is not to do a lot of coffee or energy drinks, because when you get into the fast, those can disrupt the fast because they are stimulants and they get you going. They get the energy, they get the heart rate going. The cortisol comes out, which is what it's designed to do because that's the energy drink. But when you do that in the fast, it causes your body to think there's something else going on. So regular sleep, excess stimulation. How about too much decision making, decision fatigue? This has to do with the things that we're doing. So this is not the time when you're fasting to get into a situation where you are highly, I shouldn't say high, I was going to say high functioning, because you're always high functioning. And in the fast, your brain makes connection. But this is not the time where you are getting into a project where you're having to get stressed in the process, because stress causes some other issue, which brings us to this next one, which is emotional friction without outlets. Emotions will come. Emotions are there. There are things that you're going to run into. You can't control all of your environment. You can't control all of the stress. So the question is, when that happens, do you have a mechanism, an outlet for dealing with it? Because if you don't, what's going to happen is that your stress is going to build, And those emotions are going to push buttons. And when they begin pushing the buttons, guess what? Our brain is going to say, hey, this isn't working. Let's get off of the fast. So do you have something in place that's going to help with that? So the body is calm. The body is ready to do what it's doing, but the environment is not. And you want to make sure that as you're moving through the fast, and right, if you're feeling those things, don't give up on the fast. Don't throw the fast, baby away with the bathwater. Don't throw the fast away. Say, hey, what do I need to do? What are some things that I need to look at that's going to help me? Okay? So that's why some people will have that noise. What does the noise mean? Well, let's talk about some micro adjustments. So small moves restore balance. Small moves restore balance. Often when we think about adjusting, we think about changing, we think about getting better, we want to make big, gigantic moves. But small, micro adjustments over time will help us to be successful. So what are some micro adjustments? Number one, we want to hydrate with intention. Not more, but more evenly. So not that we're going to go guzzle a gallon of water, but we want to make sure that throughout our fast that we're doing sips. You see me with my cup, and I'm always having a sip. Because I want to make sure that I'm doing this on a regular basis. If I'm not careful, if I just grab a bottle of water and I guzzle it down because I'm fasting, it can cause upset stomach. And also, if I am not cautious, if I'm not careful, because I'm not eating when I'm fasting, I also don't think about drinking, and so I can become dehydrated. So we want to hydrate with intention. You want to make sure that you are putting a mechanism in place to remind you, hey, drink, sip. Don't guzzle. One second, sip, okay? Number two, we're talking about micro adjustments. Gentle movement. We don't want you to go out and all of a sudden start deadlifting and start running, marathons and training for triathlons. No, what we want you to do is I want you to have gentle movement. So that may look like walking. That may look like stretching. That may look like yoga, tai chi. Whatever you can do, remember, move a muscle, change a thought. And we're not looking for gigantic changes. We're looking for small things that we can do consistently that will take us in the direction of being healthy. Because remember, those movements that we're doing, those things we just talked about, those are helping the muscles to burn sugar. It's helping our muscles to suck up energy, and we are losing weight. Right? We're not talking about weight loss tonight, but one of the things that happens is we lose weight. Why? Because we are also doing those gentle movements during fasting. So hydration with intention, gentle movements, recovery protection. Early. Lights, fewer inputs, less scrolling, more stillness, going to bed on time, going to bed at a reasonable time. A lot of the hormones that we have become regulated during sleep. And if we have disrupted irregular sleep, then we don't give the body the time that it needs to get rejuvenative, restful, restorative sleep. And so we're doing all this stuff. We have all this activity, but because we're not resting, we don't give our body the chance to recover. And so what we want to have some recovery protection. Remember, we adjust to restore balance. We don't force results. That's why I say micro adjustments. It's kind of like a ship, one of these large ships, cruise liner, and they're heading in a direction. Now, if they need to change, if they need to head in a different direction, of course we can keep going, and we can make a right angle turn if we want. But guess what? We're going to cause a lot of disruption. But over the course of time, if we're making micro changes, right, by the time we need to make that turn, we've already put in place a lot of the things that we need to make the turn, and the turn becomes more gentle rather than this abrupt, problematic change that we have. Okay, so that's what's going on there. So micro adjustments. And then the next, let's go ahead and we want to talk about the inner design loop. The inner design loop. This is anchor, align, and adjust. Anchor, align, and adjust. That's the inner design loop. So this is the functional change arm that we've been learning. So what does this mean for us on a daily basis? And here are a couple of questions that you want to ask as we get into this loop. Number one, what feels stable right now? A lot of things are changing. Hormones are changing. Our energy levels are changing. We're becoming regulated. Things are working together. What feels stable right now? And we want to tap into that. And the question is, how do we take that and translate it or move it or use the success that we're having there so that we can adjust and make other things during the fast successful? So what feels stable right now? This is your anchor. This is the thing. Okay, if I keep doing this, then I feel stable. Remember, stability means safety, and safety for the body is amazing because the body loves stability. So we want to anchor. What feels good right now? Number two, align. What supports the stability? Are my behaviors of such that it helps what I feel stable? What am I doing, or what should I do that will help to support what I just saw? What feels stable, and what is supporting that? What do I have in place? So anchor, align, and then adapt. And adaptation is the change agent. What small changes, we just talked about micro adjustments, what small changes can I make or do I need to make to protect tomorrow? To protect me right now, protect me the next minute. That's it. So no overthinking, no overcorrecting, just small, consistent changes that you do. And because this is iterative, right? So we anchor, align, adjust, anchor, align, adjust. So anchor, we've got to be aware of our body. We've got to be aware of the things that are happening. Because if we're not, we'll miss signals that the body will give. And by the way, as you get through the fast, you are learning as you go through the fast, but you're also preparing for the next fast. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the things from here, anchor, the things that are working, what things that are stable, the behaviors that I have, and the things that work, I'm going to take them over there. I'm going to get rid of the things that didn't work so that next time I fast, I have a better chance of being successful. I have a better experience. My brain likes it. It becomes a rhythm. It becomes a routine, and the friction decreases. Remember, friction is one of the things that causes challenges. So no overthinking, no correcting. That's our inner design loop. And so now let's talk about the daily practice. Right? Reflection without judgment. First of all, I guess let me put a pin and say this. If we're not reflecting, and that goes back to the adjusting, if we're going to adjust and make changes to help support stability, then we have to reflect. We have to think through the process. What's going on? What happened? What worked? What didn't work? If we're going to do that, then we've got to have an objective way of looking at it, recording it, and keeping track of it. Right? Just wanted to make that point. So what does this look like on a daily basis? So early, and you guys have heard me talk about bookending. And bookending is the process of having some procedure in the morning that helps set your course of your day, and then have a procedure in the evening that looks back over the day to say, just like we're doing the inner design loop, what do I need to change? What do I need to do? What worked? What can I get rid of? And how do I prepare myself for a better win and more wins tomorrow? All right, so here's the procedure. Pull out your paper, pull out your pen, and write this down. So this is an algorithm that I want you to do. It's a sample daily practice. Number one, I want you to write down 3 wins. 3 wins. Things that worked. Not things that almost worked or things that you wished worked, but what actually worked. And sometimes we get through a day and we don't think there were any wins. I was talking to someone earlier this evening, and I was telling them, hey, if you're planning to do a 72-hour fast, which is where we are, right? We're working on 72 hours fast, and you're planning to do 72, but you fall short at 56. Guess what? 56 is still a win, because you couldn't do 48, you couldn't do 24, you couldn't do 16 before, but here you are at 56. So that's a win. So write down 3 wins. Next, I want you to write down 1 need, 1 area where there's some friction. Maybe it is that my schedule is such that I end up staying up late at night. That's a friction. Because we know that staying up late at night causes dysregulation in my sleep. Dysregulation in my sleep causes dysregulation in the other things I do, and gives me a lower chance of being successful in my fasting. So what are some areas of friction? I want you to write 1. So 3 wins, 1 area of friction, and then 1 micro adjustment that you can do, 1 small change that you can put in place that will help not just now, but also help you being successful tomorrow. And remember, our goal is not to have perfection, number 1. We are working on progress. It's not going to be perfect. So we're looking for progress. Number 2, we're not looking for 5 years from now. We're looking for this moment right here. Often we get caught up in, I've got to do this for the next 24 hours, the next 48 hours, the next 72 hours. No, I don't want you to think about those hours. I want you to think about this moment right now. What's going on in this moment? Because if I can focus on this and I can be successful here, then this moment can turn into a second moment, can turn into a second moment. I can be successful there, turns into a third moment. Before I know it, I've gone through the entire time, the entire period that I was thinking about 1 moment at a time. And I'm successful because I'm just thinking about this one right here, right now. Okay, so back to the daily practice. So daily practice is 1, I want you to have 3 wins. What are 3 things that worked? Then I want you to have 1 need. What 1 area needs attention? What is an area of friction? And then 1 micro adjustment, 1 small change that you can make that sets you up for success right now and success for tomorrow, understanding that it's not going to be perfect, and we're not trying to prepare a path that's 5 years long. We're trying to make sure that we are this moment right here doing what we need to do to be successful. Okay? So at 56 hours, there is calm confidence, which is progress. Confidence replaces urgency. Your job is not to prove strength. It's to protect stability. Say it again. Your job is not to prove strength, is not to push it through and show how strong you are, how much you're able to bear through. It's how do we protect the stability? Because we want this process to be a long-term process. And if it's going to be a long-term process, we have to have a way of keeping ourselves stable. Because remember, stability means safety, and body loves safety. Our cortisol, our hormones love safety. So here's what I want you to get. If things feel quieter, don't add noise. Let adaptation do its work. Right? That's what we're going to do. Let this process work. Your body is primed. Your body is geared. Your body is ready. Your body is waiting to heal. We just have to give it space. So let me normalize a few things right now. So whether you're doing a 24-hour fast or 48-hour fast or 56-hour fast, 72-hour fast, if you're doing one meal a day, you're not behind, you're not failing, you are actually protecting alignment. I want you to look for the quiet wins. Reduce the friction. Protect the balance. When you do that, what you're doing is you are setting yourself up for the best possibility of success. Because you're doing all the things that you need to do to maintain structure. Come on. Let me make this point right here. People don't have difficulty in succeeding because they don't have a desire. It's not because they don't have a dream. It's not because they don't have a vision. It's not because they don't care. It's because the structure that we've put in place, the structure that they've put in place, is not of such that it holds this space for them, because the body needs safety. When there's no safety, then our mind runs, triggers get pushed, cortisol goes up, and because everything is not working together, it's easier for us to move off the path. So structure. We're designing a process. Limitless living is supported by design. Oh, come on now. It's supported by the things that we do, that we put in place. And if we do that, we do it well, then we have an amazing time in being successful. So as you are moving through your fasting space, as you're moving through your metabolic space, as you're moving through the space of becoming healthy, fasting stands out as an amazing tool that you can use for that process. It is the way of resetting the body and getting the body ready for all the advancements, all of the improved energy, all of the changes that you're about to install. Fasting is a reset. We continue working through the fasting space, and adaptation is an amazing milestone in that process. We go from motivation to what our metabolism is doing as the metabolism is changing, and then now we're in the healing part of fasting. We've got the autophagy. We've got the regulation of the hormones, that hormonal symphony. We got the quiet and the calm, because now the body is saying, okay, we're set. They've given us space. He's given us space. She's given us space. Let's do all the things we need to do right now. We'll be back as we continue talking about fasting, as we continue working to be healthy. Join us next time. All right, y'all. Oh man, man, man. This is one of my favorites, right? This is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite times during the fasting, right? Because we've gotten through the initial postprandial period. We are moved through the fluctuations in energy level those first several hours, first 12 hours, and we've gone through this idea of transitioning, right? So our body's already transitioned, and we are now in the repair part of this. And this is where a lot of the benefit comes. I get excited when I get here because I know as I'm looking at my ketones, you guys saw that, I'm looking at my ketones, and we are having an amazing time because those ketones are showing up because my body is transition, or my body's burning fat. And when it burns fat, guess what? My weight goes down, my energy level goes down, my thought processes are better, my A1C gets better because my blood sugar is now better. It's improving my high blood pressure, improving my cholesterol, my fatty liver, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and we can go down that pathway over and over and over. Because remember, diabetes, which we talk about a lot, is the ultimate expression of metabolic disorder. But all of those other things that I mentioned are along the pathway leading to the diabetes. And so I love being in the space. Remember, everything that we do is based on our Triple E formula for success. We educate, we empower, and we encourage, y'all. We educate with the shows, with the blogs, with the podcast. We empower with the community that you are a part of, that you're helping to build, and we encourage. So we empower with the tools, and we encourage with this community that you are helping to build. Amazing process. Amazing process. And it is, you can be an ambassador. You heard me say before that there are, on this planet right now, there are over 36 million people, or 36 billion people on the planet that have diabetes or pre-diabetes. Not even to include those who have metabolic disorder, other metabolic disorders. And you can get to say to them, hey, we can be different. We don't have to keep going down this same pathway. Just because mama had it and daddy had it, and just because cousin and auntie and grandpa and everyone in that line, they've had a heart attack, they've had strokes, they've had other things, that doesn't mean we have to keep doing that. We can be different. And you get to say that. You get to be ambassador at your job, at your office, around your community. Be the voice for change. And when you come here, we love when you're here because you get to enhance the community. When you share your story, when you tell about the successes you've had, people losing weight, people saying, hey, I've not been this weight since I was in high school. Come on now. Hey, my doctor, when I went to see him last time, said, hey, we got to take you off some medicine because there's too much now. When they did your blood work and those numbers improved, cholesterol is better, A1C is down, liver functions are now in range. When they improve your polycystic ovarian syndrome, come on now. Hey, you know what one of the causes of infertility is? Inability to conceive? Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Improve that and people become pregnant. What? All because we're improving metabolism? Yes. Now we're seeing dysfunction in our memory. People are throwing around the term type 3 diabetes. Dementia. Improvement? Really? All of this happens in this space. And so you get to say to people, come on now, let's go do this together. We don't have to keep going like this all the time. And that's why I love doing what I do here. We will continue our fasting as we go through the rest of our week. Tomorrow, we have our complete review of fasting, how to prepare for the fast, how to get through the fast successfully, and then how to break the fast. And you get to see what I eat for the very first time after 72 hours. We'll have our check-in, not check-in, but we'll have our video from the vault on Saturday, right? Saturday night at 9 p.m. Central, and we will have This Week in Review on Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Central right here on this channel. Let's go ahead, and I want to say, I see some of our community members out there, so let's say hi to them really quickly. Let's see. And I see Gian out there. Gian says, hi, Doctor and LLG. What is going on, Gian? Thank you for coming through. I see Little Pig 56. So this is Steve. Hello, Gian, is what he's saying. Steve's saying, my ketones are currently 2.4. Yesterday, they were 2.7. Look at that. Okay? So congratulations. Congratulations to you, Steve. And Steve has had, if you've not heard his story, he has had an amazing process and amazing results as he's moved through this space. And then Gian, who you see there, she's saying, hi, Steve. Oh, yeah, this is what I was going to say this, but let me put it up because she says it in the chat herself. She says, Steve, I completed my 16th week of 48-hour fasting. Wow, wow, wow. Here we go. Right? 16 weeks of 48-hour fasting. That is amazing. And we're hearing stories from so many of our community members. I'm going to see if I can do this really quickly. Where someone's put in one of our videos, they said, and I'm going to try to find it. Let's see. But that they've had some amazing benefits in terms of their A1C coming down. Okay, and I can't locate it right now, but amazing things that the people are seeing in their health by walking through the process of taking charge. And the structure that they've put in place, the structure that we've put in place, the structure that we're using is at the top of the list to be able to do that. You have the power. You have the ability to make changes. And when you make changes, you are doing what you need to do to continue to be successful. Okay? Now, one of the things, and I mentioned this to someone earlier, one of the things that I want to do is we teach in public, and we teach all of these things, right? We educate, we empower, and we encourage. But sometimes people need quieter, calmer, more introspective pathway. And that happens on DwainWoodeMD.com. I'm going to put up here in a minute a QR code that you can scan Wood Life Design. And you'll see there Limitless Living, right? Powered by Wood Life Divine. But you may be someone who needs to reminisce, and you need to you need to ruminate, I guess is the word I need to say. You want to sit and you want to journal and you want to walk through this process. You can do that. You can do that. Dwain Woode MD Live. We're going to put this QR code, and the one that's there to your left, that's the QR code for a weekly thought, a short thought that comes into your email. It's not spam. It's not designed to sell. It's not designed to push you to do something. It's just to help you to be reflective and help you to work on yourself in an environment that you feel safe in. And so that comes to you once weekly. Go ahead, and there's the QR code there. You can see that also on DwainWoodeMD.com on our YouTube channel. And then I'm always interested in having people give opinions, right? I want to know, what do you want to know? I want to know, is this beneficial to you? And that is what you see there on the left side. That is the that is the QR code that you see over there. Go ahead and scan that one. We really appreciate you talking about this show in particular. And hey, are you getting benefit? What did you think? Or what are some other things that you would love to see happen in this space? And we're always interested in that. So that is the code that you see there on the right-hand side. So left one, you want to walk through, you want to look at, you want to be able to do some things quietly as you improve yourself. QR code on the left, and then on the right is for you to help us shape the future of the channel and the future of what we do. We appreciate you coming through and appreciate you helping with that. And there I am twice on the screen. There you go. Okay. All right. So as you hear me say, let's get rid of this one. I think it's this one. Yep, there we go. So as you hear me say, this is Dr. Dwain Woode, y'all. That's Woode with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. We educate, empower, and encourage you to take charge of your health and your life. Avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. You don't need superhuman strength. You don't need you don't need to push through. You don't need more motivation. What you need is a strategy you can trust. You need a plan you can follow, and you need the support and the determination to show up every single time. And that's what we do here in the space. You want to avoid complications. I'm here because I want you to have the success in your health, just like you're having in other areas of your life. So you can show up fully, by the way, for the people who matter, the moments that matter, and the dreams that you have been investing in. That's the goal. And we are building this consistency. That's what limitless living is really about. Showing up with your best self, with your best health and your best plans consistently, not occasionally. So as we move through the rest of this week, as we move through the rest of the season, as we move into the new season, we'll continue to build that foundation together. Join us for the fasting check-ins. Join us for the flagship show. Join us for our review of fasting. We'll be back in this space for our regular scheduled programs. All right, so tomorrow for fasting, Saturday night for video from the vault, Sunday for this week in review, and then we'll be right back here on Monday for Dwain Woode MD Live. Remember, Monday will be our last show for this season, and then our first show for the next season will be on the 5th of January. So come on out. During that time, we'll have something in this space. It's not going to be live, but you can come out and you can enjoy what we have here as well. And then we are hitting the ground running. Remember, our Blueprint series continues. That's our last show on Monday because we've been saying we're not waiting for the new year to get started. We are right now putting the foundation for the things that we need to do so that we can be successful. Let's go ahead and we'll listen to this MOVE campaign, and then we'll be out of here. Good night, everybody. We'll see you in the community. Welcome to MOVE, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is MOVE. Let's get started.